What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Pokemon Masters video. My name is Charlie, and today we have a very special guest on the CharizardMosh channel. It's Kyle Hebert, the voice of Crasher Wake and PRYCE, and Gohan from Dragon Ball Z and Super. How's it going, Kyle?
It's going great. Going great. Surviving the insanity of the outside world right now.
I was gonna say, how are you doing through the pandemic and the protests and all the things that are going on right now?
Well, staying indoors is a good thing
Mm-hmm.
for your health and sanity, maybe your physical safety too. Um,
Yep.
it is really impressive what's being done with the protests and all, but I would beg everyone who wants to be a part of that movement to please wear a mask. I am of the
Yes.
ilk that this thing is not going away just because states are lifting all the rules and things are opening back up. It's like, guys, it's still here. It's a problem.
I mean, in Florida, we've had some of the biggest increases, single day increases since the states opened up again.
Yep, Texas has it too, and
Hmm.
it's like, gosh, if that isn't a sign.
I don't know what is.
Right. Yep, yep,
So
yep.
let's get into Pokemon Masters since, I honestly didn't know that the same voice actor until I started looking it up, that the same voice actor voiced PRYCE and Crasher Wake, who Crasher Wake by the way is like one of my favorite characters of all time, just for the simple like ridiculousness that is Crasher Wake.
That's awesome to hear. When the game dropped, I totally forgot that it's like this is a first world problem.
Yep.
I've been doing this for 20 years, and then if you record on enough projects, especially back to back to back, you kind of forget what you've done. And it's like I'll write down the names of the characters and the shows that I'm on or the games, and I'll wait till people talk about it on social media. It's like, oh, this is out. It's like, hey, good job. Like, who am I again? Let me look at my notes. Let me cheat sheet here. It's like, oh, okay. So yeah, it's not my first rodeo with the
Mhm.
Pokemon world. I first did several years ago. They had the Pokemon Origins.
That's
Origins.
right. Yeah.
So I got to be Professor Oak on that. Um, it's a little alternative take. And then, gosh, Lee, I was you seen Pokemon? It was a Generations, I guess.
Yeah, it was
Another,
Pokemon Generations. Yep.
yeah. I had a couple trainers in there, some bit part dudes, and then we got these guys in Masters, and then most recently, I'm Dan on the new series that
That's
just
gonna be awesome.
showed up on Netflix. So yeah,
So I
voicing a lot
know
of dudes.
you were saying like you kind of forget about these things. You have to write them down because I know it takes place over the course of years. The whole even getting cast to actually going into the booth and recording the lines to when the game actually comes out. So how long ago did this process really start for you to get to even be cast for this game?
Golly, for Masters, it was within the past year, I want to say.
Hmm.
Depending on it, some mobile games they get thrown together really quickly and could be out in a matter of a few months.
Hmm.
Um, Depends on the size. For bigger console games like Street Fighter or Final Fantasy, obviously those take years, especially when they're Japanese games being brought over to North America and any English
Right.
speaking thing. It does take time, and the, over the course of months, there may be what are called pickup sessions where some more dialogue is added, maybe some more cutscenes are animated. We have to redo things, and especially now with the pandemic, all the voice acting industry, we have to be able to do this from home now. So we have the professional setups and upgrades, and engineers are the real unsung heroes here during this pandemic. They've helped kind of navigate and walk all the actors who aren't exactly technically proficient. I was like, what am I doing? What? How do I? Where? So yeah, I've been. It's been a learning process, but
I was gonna say there's a lot of cables involved with this.
oh my God. With so many things wireless, you think everything would be wireless now, but no, we're not quite there yet. But yeah,
Not quite yet. Give it a few more years, we might get there.
yeah. Until then, though, Ethernet and XLR cable for the mic and a Thunderbolt cable for my preamp into my Mac, and
Oh man. So you voiced both Crasher Wake and Price.
Yeah.
Did you get cast for both of them at the same time, or did they listen to you record one and then like, hey, we also have this that you might be good for?
I want to say I may have auditioned on me either at the same time or maybe over the course of several months. Then maybe it's like, here's another character we want you to read for. But when I got cast and recorded for one, I also recorded the other. So we were able to get it all done in one session, which is usually like a 2 hour block of time, but it won't necessarily take 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, the bigger games have a lot more cutscenes and a lot more dialogue, so that takes more time. But again, mobile games can be banged out pretty quick.
Yeah, you can usually knock them out within like a few hours worth of a session, right?
Oh, easily, easily. I mean, depending on, something as crazy as like League of Legends back in the day. I did Ezreal, Jarvan, and Graves and recorded in 2 hour sessions. But I mean, it would honestly take 20 minutes because a game like that was just about battle game shout outs and a couple of things,
Mm-hmm.
not really cutscenes so much. I mean, since then, there have been cutscenes and things, but especially with the Pokemon stuff. It's with games, you really rarely see the animation to dub the lip sync to. We normally just have the Japanese track to use as a reference point. It's like it takes 6 seconds, so we only have 6 seconds to say this line
Mm.
in English. You can go a little bit under, but definitely not over.
I
It's
was
like,
gonna say, because in when you do animation, you usually have the animation in front of you that you can match your uh, voice to and the
mm-hmm.
words to the lip flaps. So is it easier to do it that way, or is it easier to just say, "Hey, you've got 6 seconds to say these words, get them out"?
It's definitely easier when you see the flaps already done. But in
Mm.
terms of some games, depending on their budget, they may have animation software that will move the mouth flaps to the audio, which that's nice.
Wow.
That's like
Yeah.
the way cartoons are done. I mean, maybe now not during the pandemic, but they would do a group record, have all the actors together and read together like a radio play, and then the animation's done. Whereas with Japanese dubs and for games, we usually have to have the original Japanese audio and or video as some frame of reference so we can match lip
Mm.
sync. And we don't always have that. So if you're playing a game or watching a show and the lip sync's not so great, it's not that we didn't try. It's just we don't necessarily have all the elements in place during production.
Right. And, there's just some things that if you're trying to get the idea across, there's just not enough mouth flap to fit the words into the animation.
Yeah, and clients are usually like this is the script we approved, and the only way we can really change it is if it has to be adapted on the fly. It's like, oh, this phrase is a little bit short or a little bit long. Let's
Hmm.
finagle that, and usually the director or the client themselves can approve those changes during the session. And once in a while, I could throw in my 2 cents too if I think, hey, maybe and let me try this one, and we'll try several takes. But
Hmm.
for anime stuff and video games, the actors record by themselves, and now we're all recording by ourselves from home. But
Right.
even in actual studios, before a pandemic and eventually the studios will reopen, we'll probably go back in, but it'll still be one actor at a time in like 2 hour blocks or 4 hour blocks if it's like a big role or something like that.
Hmm.
Um, haven't had a lot of time to play on Pokemon Masters. Is there really a lot of VO to it?
Not so much. I mean, you can go into the different character animations, and they've got five different voice phrases that you can click through.
Mm-hmm.
And I think throughout the game, they sort of just repurpose these different phrases so that you can hear them while you're going through the story mode.
Yeah, yeah. I'll know that process wise, we'll record several takes, maybe two or three of each line. And if they don't like it, they want to tweak, they'll give us that direction in the moment, and we'll do another set of two or three. And then the loud fight, screamy, shouty stuff, if there is any, that
Hmm.
gets saved towards the end of the session because that you risk blowing your voice out.
Right, right. Well, I know that Crasher Wake does a little bit more of that bolsterous, loud yelling. Has your time with Dragon Ball helped out with that a lot?
Oh yeah, I like to say Dragon Ball Z is the boot camp for all video games and all shows, and a lot of shows nowadays have a lot of screaming too for anime and
Hmm.
Definitely a lot of RPGs and fighting games and whatnot. So yeah, that laid the groundwork. So yeah, by the time I was recording, actually another League of Legends story, when I recorded as Ezreal, they didn't know that I was Gohan, and they said, show Dragon Ball Z, and like, actually, I was on that show. Like, what? And then they fanboyed out. It was so cool. Maybe that helped nudge them to hire me for the other characters. Who knows? But
Maybe.
it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. But normally, yeah, like every actor we have to audition. We have to look forward momentum. We all have to
Yep.
try
Yep.
for the best, no matter how hey, you know what this guy's done? Like, doesn't matter. It's just another person in a league of thousands of super talented people from around the world or around the area. And, hope your audition gets heard and hope for the best.
Right.
It's just
Right.
part of the game.
Well, I wanted to ask you, like, how did you even get into voice acting? Because I know it's a really niche and small community to even break into.
It is compared to the on-camera acting world.
Hmm.
It's much nicer and supportive of each other, less cutthroat,
Well,
and
that's
freeing in
good to know.
ways. It's freeing in that it's not based on your looks
Hmm.
and or necessarily age. I just turned 51 yesterday, but I'm still voicing dudes in their 20s and dudes in their 80s and monsters and all this different things, but that just happens to be the range that I particularly have. Every actor has some sort of signature thing. So that's why you might hear the same actors over and over in the hero role or the villain role or whatnot. And I've got to dabble in a little bit of everything. So I'm like super grateful. Even if I don't necessarily read for a game or a show, they'll still bring me in because I can help litter the background with all the small stuff, all the episodic characters or the background ones that don't necessarily have a name, but maybe they're in a background restaurant scene or a city's blowing up scene. You're like, oh my god, I like to say I die for a living because I have so many dudes that have like one line and then they're dead, and it's like, oh, okay. So we're
It's
basically
like you
hired
and
as a
Sean
fighter.
Bean, man. You and Sean Bean.
Yes, yes, that is so true. But I mean, my getting into this was a love of cartoons ever since I was a little kid. Every kid
Mhm.
grows up like completely infatuated with animation and all that. But once my dad was telling me, like I was eight or nine, it's like there's one guy who voices all these Looney Tunes. It's like that's cool.
Yeah,
I
Mel
want to do
Blanc.
that. Mel Blanc, yeah. I
That
wanted to
dude's
be able to
insane.
do that. And I like the allure of using one's voice to entertain with. So I wanted to be a DJ on the radio too, but I was a shy kid. So I was like, I want to entertain, but I don't want people to look at me. So I picked these careers that people don't look at you, but ironically, it's given me a lot of confidence for public speaking with either for podcast interviews
Hmm.
or addressing panel rooms that have 20 people to thousands of people, and it's like, okay, this is cool. I can do this. Couldn't have done it if I not gotten into this career, but I ended up getting a broadcast degree, radio, TV, film. They lumped all three together at the University of North Texas, right outside of Dallas. And I first worked in radio. And then after working with Radio Disney, I was a DJ there for like 9 years.
Oh
Halfway
wow.
through working on the kids' radio format, heard about auditions in August of 2000 with Funimation. I was in Dallas at the time
Hmm.
and went in, tried out, got lucky. Started with some bit part voices, and then 2 months after that, they started Teen Gohan Goes to High School, and that's when I took over the voice for the character. And I've had
Okay.
a career ever since. Luckily, I've gotten to see the world and go to cons and meet all these awesome people, and many of which I've looked up to for years too in the voice acting field. So it's an
Right.
amazing
Well,
career.
I know Sabat, Chris Sabat is one of the legends in the field.
Sure, absolutely. He's the one who called me. I don't think I may have met him in passing in the audition, but I remember he personally called me 2 weeks after the audition and said, "Hey, it's Chris Sabat. He's got the nice low pipes. Like, we'd like to bring you in for some voices." I'm like, "All right, awesome, great." And then I hang up and I'm like, "Oh my God, dream come true." I was already a fan of DBZ actually because it started airing in English. The first two seasons were dubbed in Canada, and
Yep,
they
the
eventually
the
dubbed the
ocean
rest of the
dub.
seasons. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. So my first Vegeta was Brian Drummond, and my first Piccolo was
Hmm.
Scott McNeil. And I know there's like 5 or 6 different Gokus, but
Oh my
Sean
God, yeah.
Schimmel's the ultimate one. And I'm a little biased, but the Funimation cast,
I
we brought
mean,
our own.
it's like you have to put these. There are some iconic voices. You've got Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Absolutely.
Mark Hamill's the Joker,
Absolutely.
and then Sean Schimmel's Goku.
Right. Right. I mean, he wasn't the first. You know, people know me as the Dragon Ball Z narrator too. I certainly wasn't
Oh
the first.
yeah.
And there's been narrators since then. The current narrator is a Dallas DJ, Doc Morgan. He's
Mhm,
been on there since Dragon Ball Z Kai. He's been on all the current games
mhm.
and everything. But people still, I mean, I think I'm the only narrator from Dragon Ball Z that's on the con circuit. So people definitely do that. So when they buy a cameo video shout out video, it's like, I say it's my birthday as the DBZ narrator next time on Dragon Ball Z. No one's asked for a Pokemon voice yet. I know it's going to come though, so I need to track down YouTube things that have clips from different
Oh yeah,
characters. So
right.
I keep them all straight in my head. Like, that's not what Crasher Wake sounds like. Like, hey, dude, what's that? No, that's not him. That's not him. That's totally not him.
Well, I think you're the only one that's voiced Crasher Wake so far, so you can really just say, yeah, it's him. He's just woke up on bad side of the bed today.
Dude, I'll take it and I will run with that. Wait, how long has Crasher Wake been around? I thought he was like original for the game, but then again, I'm not totally versed in the Pokemon universe. I
He
admit.
came out, I think he was in Diamond and Pearl is the first game that Crasher
Oh,
Wake came out in. But he
okay.
didn't have a voice. It was just all text then.
Yeah,
And
yeah. So now they brought it to all to life, I guess.
yeah. And did you ever have to because Crasher Wake is sort of this he's a big wrestling kind of guy. He's like Ric Flair and The Rock and all those great classic Hulk Hogan. He's all
Woo,
these
brother.
great classic wrestlers combined into one. What was your sort of motivation for or inspiration for the voice of Crasher Wake?
Well, I wish I could remember if I did the audition or if they just kind of said, you're going to do this, dude, because we've worked with I recorded it with Bang Zoom Studios in LA,
Mhm.
and I've worked with them for years. And a lot of the stuff that I'll end up getting, either I audition for specifically, they'll send me the audition script and they'll give me a character in specific to read for, or sometimes they'll say, hey, try out for whoever you think you're good for. And yeah, a big wrestler type. Yeah, I would totally let's do this. Some big blustering thing. It's funny you say wrestling because it's like, oh, I'm a big AEW guy now. And I love
Oh yeah. Tell me about that. What's going on with AEW and you?
oh my God. I have befriended and been followed by on social media a lot of the wrestlers. They're big anime fans too. And that's cool. So like I talked to Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho started following me, and it's like,
That's
oh,
cool.
and
Chris
I look up
Jericho?
Jericho, man, the goat, man. I've looked up to him for a lot of years, and great as a podcaster. He's a great announcer,
Musician?
musician, dude.
Dude.
He's a jack of all trades, man. So I am dying to do some sort of narration for like AEW promo or something. I don't want to take Justin Roberts' job and then be a ring announcer. I don't want to do that. I want to be
Right.
like the dude who does the recap videos. It's like one fateful night they did, I want a movie trailer type or something. So hopefully I can get their attention. It's like,
Oh, that would be
Sammy, my
so
boy,
dope.
Sammy G, can you put in a word?
Right. Just a mention, maybe.
Just to mention, man. It's like, yeah, but he dorks out because he's a huge DBZ fan and he has every pop
Of
figure.
course.
So
Of
the
course.
teen Gohan, the adult Gohan from Dragon Ball Super finally came out this week from Pop, and I have them ordered. So a friend of mine texted me a picture of the GameStop one and the regular one, and it's like,
Mhm.
ooh, I was like, Sammy, look. He goes, oh man, I gotta get this. It's like, yeah, you're famous though. People will send you multiples of those. Like you get all the free gifts, but I gotta buy my stuff. I
You
gotta
never
buy
buy your own Gohan pop dolls? Come
gotta
on.
do that. But it's okay, I sell the autographs, so I make money back.
There
Don't
you
worry.
go. There you go.
Do a lot of signatures and autographs with cons. Cons right now are kind of up in the air. They've been canceled for the year, but
Mhm.
some are thinking about rescheduling towards the end of the year. And
Yeah. And I
so
really
now,
hope they do because there were some coming up in Florida that I really wanted to go to.
yeah, I am scheduled to be a part of Anime Fest Orlando, but we'll see what
We'll
happens by
see.
then.
Yeah.
See, but until then, a lot of voice actors are doing autograph things where you pre-purchase a print and then we sign it
Mhm.
for you and do a video or a live stream and mail you the print after the fact. And It's like, okay, well, okay, this is the new norm, at least for now, until we can get out there. And you think about what is the convention scene going to look like? Everyone's going to have a mask on. We can't shake. We
Man,
can't like fist bump. We can't hug. And we're going to take pictures with the mask on? Or,
I
how's that
mean, are
going to
you
work?
gonna have people cosplaying as anime characters with masks on over the cosplay? Like, I don't know.
This,
It's gonna be interesting.
some characters don't have to worry about that. Like every Kakashi
Yeah,
from Naruto is just like, I'm set. You know,
exactly.
got the mask on already. But
So
everyone else, woo, yeah.
I wanted to ask you because you've been really, really prolific in your voiceover career, and you voiced some very iconic characters. But is there a particular character? May not even be like very well known. It could be like background guy number three. But is there one that you really like stuck out with you?
Well, Gohan has obviously meant the world to me as that started my career. It was a huge point of importance as a fan and as getting into the industry and affording me the ability, as I said before, to travel the world and go to conventions. You know, the conventions fly us out. It's like, oh, thank God, I don't have to pay for this.
That's really nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It is wonderful. It's not why I got into the biz. I didn't get into this to get rich and famous. We're certainly not rich because voice actors are not making the
Having to
money.
buy your own Gohan pop dolls. That yeah, that's a telltale sign right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Once in a while, I'll luck out and it's like, all right, we'll give you a digital copy of the My Hero game. It's like, oh, okay. Because I put Fat Gum in that and I got Kakarot for free. But most times I'll
Nice.
be like, okay, I got to buy Street Fighter. I got to buy Fire
Yep.
Emblem. I got to buy, I buy all this stuff. But again, I wouldn't trade it because this career has been so rewarding. I mean, it's not without, I got to be realistic. It's not all happy like social media portrays everybody. It's like the
Yeah.
realistic part of it is like it is competitive, and more times than not, you audition and not get hired. So out of every 100 auditions, I might get hired 2 or 3 times. And that
Hmm.
ratio's the same for everyone, no matter how established and how long they've been doing it, or if they're new in the business. And it's just kind of that luck versus the combination of luck and talent, being in the right place at the right time,
Hmm.
and being what the client's looking for. You know, you either are or you aren't what they hear in the performance and all that. Doesn't mean you're bad just because they didn't hire you. It's just that's not what we're looking for. But you're trying to get
Right.
on everyone's radar so that you continue to audition. I like to tell everyone, what is your job as a voice actor? To voice act? It's like, yeah, my job is to audition, actually. It's like they don't pay to audition, but you treat the audition as if it were the job. That's why we always tell people train, get experience, work on improv, work on all these different things because you're going to have to think on your feet constantly. And as you get more established, you get more auditions, and hopefully your inbox is just lighting up every day, and you're having more and more opportunity to be heard by more people, and hopefully just get up on their talent roster so at least you get heard. And
Right.
all the icing on the cake at the end of the day is they do hire you, and it makes it worth it. It feels so good to actually, oh, I get paid to have fun.
And that is the most important part is having fun while you're in the booth because if it was, just getting yelled at constantly, then no one would want to do this. We would have voiceless animations.
Right. Right. I imagine it had to be fun even for the bad voice acting in the 90s games. Remember
Oh
I had a
my God.
Dreamcast and I played House of the Dead
Dude.
2.
There are
Suffer like
some.
ye did. Oh.
See, so my first real video game, like serious video game that got me into gaming was the Metal Gear Solid for PlayStation. And that was just like, oh my God, top tier everything. Animation at the time, voice acting, the whole nine yards, story, everything. And so it sort of ruined video games for me after that because everything after that, I was like, like, why isn't this as good as Metal Gear?
Yeah.
And, ugh, and it just gets in. But nowadays, I think you see a real standard of quality when it comes to video games, like DBZ Kakarot. That was like playing through that game was just amazing. The voice acting, it was all top notch. Did you guys? So for that game, you guys had to go back and redub lines, right? Or did they pull some from the actual show?
No, it's actually all a brand new script. I think I recorded for like
Wow.
13 hours.
Oh my
I don't know
God.
that they used every bit of dialogue, but boy, I recorded a lot for that game in particular. Definitely. Oh my God. But it was convenient because it was like all down the street from where I live.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's nice. Yeah, for sure.
Chris Sabat has a LA branch of his studio, Okatron, which is normally based in Dallas where Funimation is, but
Mhm.
they started using West Coast talent, some of which started in Texas, like myself, and then started using other people that people from Texas started networking with LA people and New York people on the con circuit. So now you're hearing this crossover of LA, New York, and Texas people on everyone's dubs. So it's like, did they do this in Canada or the States? It's like normally the Canadian stuff is still all Canadian, but it
Mhm.
becomes a blur with the Texas cast and the LA cast and the New York cast. They're like, oh,
Right. Well, I know that for I don't know if you know the cartoon Archer.
mm-hmm.
They all like record separately at their houses and just mail the audio to the production company, and they put it all together.
Wow. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way some stuff was done, like Clone Wars and all that. You know, he had Yoda, Tom Kane. He doesn't even live in LA. He just has a really nice studio in like Nashville or something like that. And he would just digitally patch the recording sessions over that way. But now, again, like we were saying with the quarantine stuff, we're using programs so we can do it in real time called Source Connect, and we're looking at video over Zoom or Skype to do the lip sync aspect of it. But we're also
Okay.
recording on our end, the engineers recording on their end. We have backup recordings. A lot of us are doing microphone and preamp upgrades so that everyone has a good, consistent, professional broadcast quality. And it's been a little nerve wracking, but I think it's good. You know, a voice actor's job no longer is just be a good actor. It's also be a jack of a little bit of everything. You have to be a good at audio recording, and you have to
Mhm.
know some basic technical stuff to kind of navigate.
You know what? That brings up an interesting question. How do you think that now that, because you said everyone's got to build up these sort of professional studios in their own homes, how is this going to affect the industry going forward?
Right? You know, I guess depending on the business, a lot of people are going, well, I guess we really don't need an office building. Of course, they get tax breaks. So, you know, corporate America will still have the giant skyscrapers and all that. Recording studios, I don't know. I'd kind of be shaking in my boots going, if everyone can just record from home, what do they need us for? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that as we navigate the pandemic and people are able to feel comfortable and there's lots of sanitation protocol and in place and all that, I think that we'll be able to just kind of ride the waves. You know, if dare I say there's another quarantine in the future, another pandemic, at least now we're prepared. So we can go
Right.
back to this state if need be. I, for one, am super lazy and I love being able to just roll out of bed and go into my closet. This is why this looks like a closet. It is a
Mhm.
closet. That's my recording space. I lucked out. I live here and this is super dead sounding. I've got some acoustic foam on the walls in front of me, but everything
Mhm.
around me and behind me is all just closet stuff. And I passed engineer tests, multiple ones with the mic and the preamp, and it's like, sounds great. It's like, oh, thank God, thank God.
Yes.
I don't have to drop thousands of dollars on a portable booth to, you know, throw together. And but some of us have, and you know, we're all in major credit card debt, you know, just trying to live during the
No.
pandemic. But these are investments in our craft, you know, just like taking
That's
acting
exactly
classes
it.
and getting the equipment. Hopefully you make it back tenfold, you know.
Hmm.
And so far it seems to be working because this industry is surviving. And I'm sure the studios will open back up, and little
Hmm.
by little, some people will be able to will feel at ease to go back in. Another of us are like a little afraid to take the dip in the pool just yet. It's like, all right, I know I can record from home. I gotta put my foot down. I'm either immunocompromised or I live with someone who is, so I really don't want to jeopardize that. And it's like studios have been really cool about that. No one is forcing
Wow,
their
that's
hand or
really
saying, we're going to recast you if you don't come in. It's not been like that at all. Everyone is super cool.
Oh my God, that's really amazing to hear. Because usually, industries they're machines, so
Yes.
people get chewed up all the time in these machines. So hearing that the voice acting industry and these studios are just 100% backing the voice actors, I can't agree with this anymore. Like it's so amazing to hear this.
It's a unique situation. It's the first time for everyone. So there's a learning curve for everyone. So at least everyone is kind of on equal footing about this. It's like, okay, so no one really has a one up. And where's the compromise? Well, you guys are stuck at home. So, and we have production deadlines. The clients still want the shows and the games done. So how do we maneuver this? Some people are mailing out recording kits, like really nice microphones and preamps for the actors who can't afford to do the upgrade right now. And they're on loan, so they can record from home. And that's been a wonderful boon too, because not everyone has been able to do the upgrades at this time.
Yeah, that's so cool, man. Wow.
Yeah.
It makes me have a whole new respect for these production companies because I've worked in the beast a little bit. I've peeked behind the curtain. I've seen what can happen.
Yeah.
And this is just like it makes me have faith in humanity again.
Well, again, I say the real heroes of this pandemic have been the engineers who they have the burden of a tremendous technical responsibility, right? They're mixing the shows and making it all ebb and flow, and now they're having to have had or taught the voice acting community to learn a little bit more basic engineering stuff and the ins and outs of things like Source Connect and working with different programs, and on top of their current load of mixing the shows, and they have the burden of everyone's recording with different mics and different homes and different setups, and they have to mix it and make it sound consistent, which sounds like a nightmare. I'm not envious in the least.
Trust me, it is a nightmare because some people have Rhodes, some people have God, there's so many like microphone companies and different kind of brands of microphones have just exploded over the last couple of years.
Yes.
So I can only imagine that some is going to be, it's going to have more bass to it, and that needs to be EQ'd out, and like it can be a total nightmare doing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, when we're recording our backups like the actor does at home, they hit record on Audacity or Adobe Audition or Pro Tools or whatever, and we don't do any post-production to it. We just save the raw file and upload it on Dropbox or whatever so the engineer can access it that way if need be. But normally, unless there's a glitch on Source Connect or Skype or anything, they're able to pull the audio direct from their recording end, which makes it, really nice. But yeah, in terms of sweetening the audio and all that, I just reserve that for my auditions. I'll make it sound good. I'll do noise reduction, equalization, compression, all that stuff. Make it sound a little boomier and bassier. I mean, this is a Neumann TLM 103, so it's one of those industry workhorses, but not everyone has that.
Right.
Some people have something that's way more expensive, and other people have, well, I can't afford that, but what costs a third of that but sounds kind of like it, People have had to do a lot of research in the past few months to try and make something work. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to talk to you about, because I would consider it a missed opportunity if I didn't talk a little bit about Gohan in his progression in Dragon Ball Super.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think Gohan went from in the beginning of Dragon Ball Z, being teen Gohan, being the high schooler, to now being a teacher and someone that in one of the episodes, Trunks realized like, hey, he's actually living the dream that he always wanted. How do you feel like where is Gohan going to go in the future?
I think it's good that they showed Gohan in his responsible, good husband/father role to show that, okay, he can do this, and this is what he wanted and everything. But also the Tournament of Power shows that he's still a force to be reckoned with. So I really hope wherever the Dragon Ball saga goes in the future that Gohan has the chance to really show off his true potential. We've seen him kind of gimped in the past, and that made me sad because it's like he's such a powerful character and a fan favorite and everything. And I really hope that he'll get to save the day even or something, because he wasn't even in the Broly movie. He wasn't even mentioned. It's like, where's Gohan?
Yeah.
Like, where was he? Was he teaching? I mean, he could have said something. And like, come on. Such a good movie.
These guys move faster than the speed of light. He could have shown up for like, hey guys, what's up? And then out.
Yeah. Even Saiyaman showing up for a second. I mean, anything. But yeah, that's my secret hope. But God, I've been so blessed to be a part of the Dragon Ball universe for this long, and having met a lot of the Japanese Seiyu as well, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, Funimation giving me these opportunities, Toei giving me these opportunities to work on multiple projects throughout throughout the years, and it's opened a lot of doors and really impacted my life in the best possible way.
And so, because Dragon Ball Super is not really over, it's continuing through the manga with
Hmm?
the Moro arc. Have you been keeping up with the Moro arc and how everything's unfolding?
No, I've been kind of just trying to stay spoiler free. Other than I'll say, hey, does Gohan have something to do this time? I'll be like, hey, where is he? Um, and the other thing about manga is just a technical preference. It's like it's hard for me to remember to read right to left,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so I get lost really easily. But I downloaded a few like free volumes and all that, but I haven't spent too much time with them. I'm more of a domestic comic book reader.
Okay.
Um, but I am definitely hopeful that this continues in the near future, and that Gohan's part is bigger and more important. I guess make Gohan great again. That would be nice.
Oh, I think we need to get a hashtag going.
We do. We don't want to confused with, oh my gosh, they're a bunch of Trump lovers. And like, no, 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 no.
No,
We're
no, no,
saying
no, no,
Gohan,
no.
Gohan. They love
Gohan.
Gohan. There's a difference. This isn't about politics. This is.
Well, you said you're a fan of American comic books. Are you a Marvel or DC?
I found myself doing a little bit of both. I love me some Batman. I love John Constantine, Hellblazer on the DC side. I love X-Men on the Marvel side.
Hmm.
Some Deadpool's always a lot of fun here and there. I've read some of the newer Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. Um, some indie stuff like Saga over the past few years has been great.
Dude, Saga has been like just crushing it.
Yeah. That's a truly great one. It makes me sad that the creators are like, we don't want this to ever be a movie or a show. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, it would be a perfect show or a movie. But my all-time favorite has been Sandman from Neil Gaiman, and that is getting
Yes.
finally greenlit into like a live action TV show. So
I can't tell you how excited I am about this. I nerded out over this comic book so much when I was a kid.
yeah,
It was everyone had it.
yeah. I read it when it first came out. I was reading in the 90s when I
Hmm.
was collecting them all, and it's like I remember before Comixology because now I just get them all digitally to save
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
space and all that. I mean, no offense to the brick and mortar stores. I love being able to go into the
Right.
comic store and picking the perfect copy and all that. That's an experience that you
Hmm.
totally lose by doing digital. But yeah, back in the day, I collected the digital or the hardcover versions, and I got them all as they came out each month, and then the collected trades, and then the hardcovers, and then now digitally. There's an audio drama coming out, I think later this summer. James McAvoy, I think, is voicing Morpheus, and then they've got a lot of people, BBC
Wow.
radios doing some really good Neil Gaiman adaptations. So yeah.
God, I am super stoked about this. I mean, the as much as it sucks being stuck inside for so long and whatever else is going to happen, at least we have some glimmers of hope in the near future.
Oh yeah, yeah. The entertainment world, I mean, the world at large is all changing in front of our eyes. We are living in this historical moment, and you're seeing like, all right, well, the entertainment machine still goes on. We're still going to see stuff released, maybe not in the theater or not in the time frame we thought they were, but other things are hitting video quicker, and we're able to enjoy all this stuff at a much faster rate. So yeah, exciting, weird, scary, but cool times, I guess.
And I do have to ask because it's such a big like point of contention in the Dragon Ball community. Who's Gohan's dad for real though?
Piccolo. Piccolo has been a better dad than Goku. But
Oh man.
Gohan shows Goku what being a dad is in Super.
Yeah. Gohan is like a legit like one of the best fathers that has been put to animation, I think.
Yeah, I think he's a well-rounded three-dimensional dude. He's not
Hmm.
just strong, he isn't just inherently good and positive, a great role model. He's dorky, and yeah, he just stands for a lot of he's a good parent, he's a good husband, he's smart, goals, hashtag goals. This character is such a blast to play, no matter what element that I get to do with him.
And so I want to sort of we'll wrap it up by sort of bringing it back around. So Gohan has the alter ego Great Saiyaman. Was there a little bit of Great Saiyaman in Crasher Wake?
Probably. Probably. I only have so much voice. I mean, I have a little Saiyaman in multiple characters on my career, so wouldn't shock me one bit. But I mean, the nice part is it's a completely different company, so they can't say, you sound too much like that. I'm like, well, I can rip myself off now, can't I? Like when I'm Kamina and Gurren Lagann, it's like he's pretty much just the Great Saiyaman. He's just always blustering these positive statements. It's like, he's totally Saiyaman. He's totally Saiyaman. He may be the manliest man in Maname, but still, yeah. So I love using that as a starting point and like just build upon it. If I can infiltrate different characters and shows and games, I'm going to do that because again, Gohan has made such a big impact on my life and everyone else's, as I see from the DBZ fandom. So,
man, Kyle, I can't thank you enough for this amazing, amazing time with you.
well, thank you.
Is there anything you want to say to the Pokemon or Dragon Ball community out there right now?
I want to thank all the fans just in general. Thank you for supporting pop culture, Japanese culture with manga, anime, gaming. We're keeping it alive. Let the people know through social media what you're a fan of so they can continue to crank out the things you want as we go through the trying times of the internet and the way people consume media and everything. We are so grateful, those of us blessed to work in this industry, so grateful for the fans. You make our jobs possible, really, at the end of the day. So thank you for supporting epic franchises like Pokemon, like Dragon Ball, like Naruto and Bleach and One Piece and Fire Emblem and so many different things through the years. Whether it's cartoons, games, multimedia, the fans' impact cannot be understated. It is incredible. So thank everyone around the world for their continued support.
Thank you so much, Kyle. And speaking of support, how can we support you? What are the social media links that we should go check out?
Cool. Thank you. Well, I'm at Kyle Hebert, Kylehebert. It's spelled like Hebert, but it's pronounced Hebert. It's a Louisiana name. So at Kyle Hebert on Twitter and Instagram. I have facebook.com/KyleHebertVO, but I most normally post different stuff. I'm most active on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm currently doing a promotion with Zobi for an autograph pre-order. So I have some different prints, of which Gohan is on there, Super Saiyan and regular. Some really cool Boss Logic art prints that people can pre-purchase, and then I sign coming up in a few weeks, and then I'll shoot video of me signing it and giving out video shout-outs and whatnot. If people just want a video shout-out, I have the Cameo link on my Twitter pinned to the top, so that'll be the first tweet you see, cameo.com/KyleHebert. So I can do a video shout-out in the voice of your choice for, just being a fan or graduation or anniversary, birthday, shout out, whatever it is. And thank you for that opportunity.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you guys so much for checking out the interview with Kyle Hebert, the voice of Crasher Wake, PRYCE, Gohan, and so many more. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss out on any of the daily Pokemon Masters content that I post. And I'll see you guys in the next video.